Coach, let's go back dun sa experience mo with, of course, nabanggit mo sila Mikey, Diary, di ba, yung mga teammates, mga training partners mo.
Yes, yun, they really, I only mentioned them because they really helped me in that last stretch. Kasi 42 kilometers, di ba? And then at around, 39-kilometer mark, medyo natanaw ko yung dalawa sa malayo. Naglalakad. Si Mark, sabi ko, kilala ko yun. Kilala ko yung mga katawag yun. Kasi araw-araw halos kasama ko magbike. Mark and Mikey nga. Sabi ko, oh my gosh, they're just walking. Baka, siguro they decided like, tapusin lang natin to. And then, when I passed them, 2 kilometers to go, and they said, oh, Annie, parang gulat sila. Like, let's just finish together. Sabi ko, no, I can't. I have to go. I have to go fast because there's somebody behind me and I think I might win this. Ayun. Tapos sila parang, Brian, let's go. Like, alam mo namang may energy pa eh. Alam mo yun, mabilis naman yung dalawang yun eh.
Yes.
So, they were so good, like in that last 2 kilometers. Si Mark was running with me, pacing me. And then Mikey was like looking at the back. Oh, malayo pa siya. Like they were looking kung, sabi ko, can you check if the girl is, can you see her? No, you can, malayo pa. And then finally, just under 2 minutes. That's why there's a picture of that particular Ironman Langkawi. The three of us were together in the finish line. That was because of that.
Papakita natin dito yung picture
super,
na yun.
Super memorable, and I owe that like last ounce of talaga. Yung kumbaga finishing strong to those two.
Okay, Mark Ellis. The machine, Mark Ellis. Yan, tapos of course, si Tito Mikey Diary. So, yun yung first time, Coach, na nag-qualify ka for Kona?
Yes. I couldn't believe it actually kasi hindi ako prepared. Tapos hindi rin ako prepared sa pagbayad ng credit card.
Okay, let's be real, ha? Let's be real.
Hindi rin ako prepared dun sa part na yun. Nagulat din ako.
Di ba kasi syempre Kona is very prestigious, di ba? Pero ang hindi alam ng lahat, hindi na-expose ng lahat is yung babayaran nyo dun para makapunta sa Kona.
Yes,
diba?
yes. And I'm so thankful, of course, sa mga friends ko who were there at that time na may credit card. Again, yung mga girlfriends ko na sabi, take the slot. Ito, borrow my credit card, si Doray. And then Senator Pia said, sige, I'll help you with that, yung mga payments, ganyan. Nice. So parang, ayun na, that's how I was able to do it. Pero even then, I think it was not even $800 less. Ngayon, nasa 1,000 na, diba?
Grabe. Tignan mo nga si Kuis, naghahawak ng wallet na ngayon. So, nag-Nice France to, diba?
Yeah. I think it was 400. I think.
Pero that time, diba? 400 is still 400.
Ang laki na nun, oo.
Yeah, that was what? 2008.
Yes.
Diba? Tapos, hindi mo naman talaga siya, hindi ka ready na, hindi mo expected at some point,
diba? Akala ko third yung makakukuha ko eh. First pala.
Diba?
Yes.
First place. Yung Langkawi, diba? Tapos si Coach Ann yung first Pinay na nag-represent sa Kona. Diba? First Pinay. So, yung mga 2008. So, anong month ito na Langkawi, Coach?
Last weekend of February.
So, ang Kona nun...
Still October.
Yes.
Yes.
Diba? So, at that time, eto yung mag-isa ka lang, diba?
Yes.
Na nag-represent for the whole Philippines.
Yes. Actually, technically, it was the first time the Philippines was registered.
Wow.
Because there were a couple of Filipino males of Filipino descent, but I think US citizens sila. So yung nakalagay, wala pang Philam-Try nun. But some were Kona residents kasi meron silang special Kona slot for 70 point for Kona residents. And some were from the mainland. a handful of Filipinos, including Arland Makasheb.
Si Arland.
He qualified in 19... But I think he also represented... wala pa siyang Filipino passport nun eh.
US pa siya noon.
So yes. So technically, first time nakasali yung flag natin sa Parade of Nations, which
Wow.
is very special, di ba?
Very special yung Parade of Nations. Tapos first time in 2000, nung 2008, naitaas ang Philippine flag.
Yes.
At naiparada sa Kona along Ali'i Drive.
So I think in a way I really felt some pressure na kailangan tapusin ko to. I don't really even care. So secondary yung time. And syempre very unknown eh. For us anyway. Medyo wala pang magsasabi ng mga, ganto sa Kona. Wala pang ganun eh. Wala naman tayo masyadong kakilala pa na will really guide us. Pero sabi ko, and I'm thankful that I have somebody yung si Coach Tony nga na may experience. So, in a way, I was able to do it properly.
Here is my question, Coach. After doing your first Kona, what made you decide to do it again?
Iba kasi yung feeling na it's hard to bottle it up like in one sentence. Pero there's magic in the place and in the whole event that I can't really explain to everyone. It's a special place.
Yes.
It's a special place. I mean, you've been there, right?
Twice.
Yes.
2 times.
Yes.
2 time Kona accredited media.
Exactly. Yeah, I really like it. I mean, it's probably, in my mind, what a triathlon should be. Like, especially when I went there for the first time. It was just so happy. It was a happy experience. It was like everything. The people, the atmosphere, the whole vibe.
What can you say about we've heard a lot of things about of course the Kona veterans, that the island is giving a different energy during race day. So kasi syempre you're there days prior, 'di ba? Then you train along, of course you ride along Queen K, then you run some of the parts, you go, well, this time we went to Javi. But on race day, I can't speak for it because I haven't done that, but they say that during race day the island, the big island, gives a different energy.
I think not only on that day, but the whole week, to be honest. Because you can feel it pulsating, so to speak, if you are very sensitive to that. But I can really feel that. That is what I was saying earlier. I think it's very hard to bottle it up and to kind of like communicate that to everyone else who has not experienced it.
Yeah. So, if given a chance, Coach, 3 times ka na nakapag Kona. Sige, sabihin natin you are still yung training mo tuloy-tuloy pa rin, tapos then you have coaching. Will you do it again?
I plan to do it when I'm 50.
Oh,
I'm 48 right now.
Oh, kabahan na yung mga kids. So, may babalik. Coach Doray. Baka gusto ni Coach Doray bumalik na rin. Diba?
Kasi I feel like, let's mark my 50th birthday with something. And it's gonna be in Kona in 2025, which is when I'm 50.
Oh.
So, that's my...
2025.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Kasi next year, Nice.
Yes.
Diba? Tapos,
Yes.
2025, oh my God, ba't ako kinilabutan? Parang,
So, I plan to do it then.
Coach, hama ko. Kailangan ko ma-documentong 50th ni Coach na nasa Big Island. Oh my God. Oo, doon na may breakfast with Rafi na doon. Tatabi tayo kay Bababi.
Yeah. Kasi as you know, I'm kind of like semi-retired right now, just training. Natatawa nga yung mga athletes ko sila Kim at Fer. Kasi lagi ko sinasabi, mag-exercise muna ako.
Exercise na yung term mo.
Kasi I can't really call it training. Training means like you have a
structure.
You have exactly.
Structure,
and you're training towards something. A race.
Correct.
So exercise lang yung ginagawa ko for now.
Maintenance.
Oo.
Diba? So, for maintenance. Pero, guys, 2025, something to look forward to next year, of course, the venue for the World Championships will be for women sa Nice. For men, babalik ito sa Kona. Who knows? Baka sa 2025, nandun na ulit yung male and female.
Yes. That would be great.
Diba?
That would be super.
Grabe yun. Pag bumalik yung dalawa, yung male and female sa Kona, kahit 2 days.
Kaya nga eh.
Pero yung nandun sa isang venue lahat.
Iba.
Sobrang iba. So, okay, hindi ako makaget over na you heard it first here, ha? You heard it first na babalik si Coach Annie.
I didn't really want to announce that, but you know what? Let's put it out there.
Alright, diba? So, abangan natin talaga yan. So, pag makita niyo si Coach Annie na pumupukpok sa Carmel Ray,
yun na yun.
Alam niyo na kung bakit. Okay, very nice. At least meron na tayo. 2018, yung Ironman World Championship. So, may mga kasama ka na nito.
Yes, ang saya niyan.
Diba kasama na dito sila Burns?
Si Mamita, si
diba?
Flor.
Si Flor,
si Lizette.
Alaborte.
Oo.
Tapos yung mga boys nito, sila Andy
Aguila, Jong sa Hulga. Ang pinakamalakas na Jong.
Of course, si Manong Jong.
Sino pa nga? Some of the, I forget. Meron pang iba. Pero yon, parang ito yung year na dumami yung girls.
Nagkaroon ka na ng kasama na girls. But you were like, I think, mga 10 by noong 2018?
10 nga ba kami? Yeah,
something, ganun, diba?
something like that.
Si
Not
Peter.
exactly 10, pero yeah.
So we started with, of course, with one, and then dumami yung girls. Tapos we have the biggest contingent nung 2022. Last year.
Yes.
We were like 47.
Grabe.
47, diba? So, your thoughts, Coach, on the growth of triathlon, then, diba, nagkaroon tayo ng, alam mo yun, well, nandun kasi ako, well, naiisip ko, I can reminisce yung napakalaking grupo na may dala ng Philippine flag.
Alam mo, sobrang nakakatuwa kasi going back to my own experience, yung unang-una, yung mag-isa lang ako, there's a board kasi sa my energy lab. Tapos yung parang supporters mo can send you a message. Pag dumaan yung timing chip mo, magpa-flash yung message sa screen.
Nice.
So parang when you were talking about the 47 in the Parade of Nation, parang it took me to that moment.
Yeah.
That I passed that and the board said, the whole Philippines is cheering for you.
Wow.
Parang naiiyak ako every time I think of that moment. And then, now, in 2022, naging 47 yung tao. Who would have thought? Like, wow, it's really mind-blowing. And I'm so happy. Like, grabe.
Yeah.
Grabe talaga. It's amazing.
And syempre that time gusto man namin na nandun ka, and I know we were planning that you'd be there, of course, with sila Miss Princess and si Marge, and then this year our strong women, 13 strong women plus ETA, of course, our adopted Filipino by heart, Irish by
parang
flag.
si Peter.
Parang si Peter na resident Kona natin, but of course with the Philippine contingent. So, Coach, nakikita natin yung growth. Diba? The Philippines is well represented already in the world stage. Of course, yung boys natin, yung men, they were like 25 sa Nice. Hindi na tayo isa. Hindi na tayo dalawa. We are more than that. Your thoughts on the growth of triathlon in the Philippines going to the world stage?
I think it also reflects the growth of the sport in particular, not just in the Philippines. Yung evolution niya, not just the growth in terms of numbers, but the evolution of how the makeup of the participants is, ano na siya, naging more accessible. Dati kasi nung sumasali ako nung una, ang tingin ko dyan napaka-extreme sport.
Yeah.
And very intimidating. Yun nga yung sinabi ko, parang si Raulo naman yata yung gagawa niyan.
And
ano ba yan?
Hindi lang naman ikaw ang nakaano niyan, di ba? Kasi syempre, karamihan,
Yes.
well, the normal people who are not really, of course, doesn't think of the sport as a sport.
Yes.
So yun ang sabihin, crazy bunch of dudes
Yes.
doing swim bike run.
But now I think it's less and less because ikaw, may office mate ka, nag-triathlon. Uy, kaya niya? Alam mo yun?
Yeah.
Parang more and more, you have acquaintances or friends who participated in it, and then you start to think, it's not so hard pala if he can do it, right?
You can do it, correct.
Yeah. So, I think it's good. Like, it's not... siguro we have to evolve that way, and also to sustain it.
Yeah.
You can't be such you can't, I think, grow if you continue on as a niche sport, because you have to think of sponsors for events, for the athletes. So yeah, I think it's a good thing.
Let's compare your qualifying races from the first one, the second, and the third.
Yes.
Ano yung pinakamahirap dun sa tatlo based on how you, let's talk about what race, and bakit ito mahirap for you dun sa tatlo?
Iba-iba yung reasons. I mean, let me just put it out there. Kona is always hard.
Triathlon is hard.
Yeah, but like that race is always hard. It's never easy. So it was always hard in different ways every single time. The first one, more of like, I think I was really the fittest when I joined compared to all three.
Yeah,
I was definitely fitter in the first one. But the time doesn't show it because the wind during that day was crazy, and maybe my bike fit in hindsight wasn't really good. Medyo hindi pa kami nasa part na inaayos namin yung bike fit namin nung time na yon. So kasi ang sakit talaga nung likod ko. Like, I was so happy na ito yung part na pag dating ng 42K, I'm so happy I'm going to run 42K. Yung ganon. Parang, in what scenario would you be thinking that, right?
Diba? Pero yung mentality na yun yung dapat na natin, diba? That excited ka mag-run. Diba?
Exactly. Yeah, but yeah. So, that was my first one. And in a way, yung pressure na, oh my gosh, I have to finish this no matter what. Because, yun nga, first time. And then the second one, I was breastfeeding. Amaya was 1 year old.
Oh, okay.
And then like when I was trying to qualify, and yeah. So parang I was just really getting back into it at that time. And it was balancing. I think the third time, oh my gosh, that was a juggling act. The 2018 Kona event, there was what did we had so many events for now I remember, we had Asian Games that year for the national team.
Okay,
we had several training camps. For some reason I decided to take my Tri-Sato coaching certification that year, so I went to Sunshine Coast, I went to Mallorca in Spain, and then also again I decided to do this one was kind of forced upon me because mag-expire na yung license ko sa World Triathlon. So I even did a coaching course for renewed my license for World Triathlon. I went to Korea. Up on top of many travels and training camps for the Asian Games preparation. And then of course, before that, I had to do the training for the full Ironman in Subic. And then I was organizing Iron Kids, which is always the day before the Ironman, right?
Correct.
So you don't only wake up at 4 a.m. the day before the day of the race. I also have to wake up at 4 a.m. the day before. And I have my children, and my, like you mentioned before, my 2 real children. And on top of that, my national team who I have to bring to the camp because, guys, can you come to Subic with me and let's train here this week? Because, I have this whole thing that I have to take care of, the Iron Kids race. And then I'm joining, and then yun. So like somehow I made it to Kona starting line, but it was such a juggling act. Like I went to Europe pa. Yeah.
Wow.
Ang daming nangyari. So again every year I think different kinds of challenges. I'm pretty sure every person who starts in Kona has a different story to tell also.
Interesting, no? So, hindi talaga siya, well, of course, hindi siya very smooth.
Yes.
For everyone.
Oh, yes.
I'm assuming, well, us, for example, well, lalo sa age groupers, di ba? That they have their jobs.
Yes.
They have their life as well, di ba? And of course, they are a triathlete at the end of the day.
Yes.
So, Coach, you have been a full-time athlete and you are now a full-time coach. But, of course, sometime in your life, hindi naman na talaga siya full-time because you're a full-time mom. Yun yung una, family first, and of course, you have to live. Diba? So, ano yung take mo doon na an average athlete, an average age grouper, how can they go to Kona with that kind of lifestyle without sacrificing the work, the life? It's total balance.
Well, you have to sacrifice something. Wala mo nang gimmick, wala mo na. Yun yung mga easy things to let go of. I think first you have to lay the foundation. Ito yung mga kailangan talagang gawin. Like yung mga priority. Yun yung first layer, you have to prioritize. Ito yung family, work. Hindi yun pwedeng tanggalin. So, and then second layer yung training.
Okay.
And then wala nang third layer.
Ilang layers pa pwede?
So, ganon.
Okay.
So, ganon lang eh. You really have to commit. And it's only for, sabihin na natin, 6 months of your life. Hindi naman forever yun eh. So, if you really decide on a goal, I think it's not only true for Ironman or qualifying for Kona Ironman eh. I think it's for anything that you want to achieve. Really. So, you have to prioritize. Kaya mo yun eh. Kung talagang gustuhin mo. Magagawan mo ng paraan. And then...
Kaya mo yun.
Yes.
Kung gustuhin mo.
Yes.
Oh.
I also want to insert that when you're, mahilig tayo, 10 hours a week yung kaya kong training, 12 hours, 20 hours, whatever it may be. I also want to insert to that, please make sure you also have the equivalent amount of recovery time.
Yun. Recovery.
Yes.
Recovery is gold.
Oo. Kasi sabihin na natin, Coach, I can train 16 hours a week. Okay. And then, yung ibang time for work, yung ibang time for family. Wala silang binibigay na gap in between.
Yun.
Kailangan merong a set time also for recovery. As you know, sometimes when you're in the peak of your Ironman preparation, meron diyang mga 160k bike ride. O alaga namang maghatid sundo ka sa school like hindi kaya. So, kailangan meron kang i-balance mo talaga what are the days. Ito talaga, kailangan after nun, rest ako. Kasi, hindi ka makaka-function sa trabaho eh. Hindi mo pwedeng meron kang big conference tapos isasabay mo the day before yung napaka long break na.
Wala.
Patay-patay na yung utak mo
lalabas
after.
Lalabas sa training pics mo pula.
Yes.
Hindi nagawa.
Oo,
diba?
yun lang. So, if you just plan well.
Okay. Planning.
Plan well.
And of course, prioritizing.
Yes.
Diba? Pupunta naman ako dun sa level of, since nabanggit natin yung commitment, tapos yung prioritizing, meron tayong mga athletes, coach, na hindi dapat sa'yo itong question na to, sa ibang guest to, pero tatanong ko na rin sa'yo, no? Meron kasi mga athletes na, di ba, to finish lang ako. Pero hindi, yung mga hindi naman nagtitraining. Hindi nagtitraining. Tapos, okay lang yan. To finish lang naman ako. Tapos, pagdating sa race, nasaktan. Hindi nag-enjoy. As a coach, ano ang insights? What are your thoughts on those types of athletes? Of course, we cannot judge them because maybe life hits them.
Yes.
Ang daming pwedeng nangyari. But then, they still opt to do a big race.
Siguro, kailangan, klaro sa'yo from the very start, ito ako.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're true to yourself na, okay, because this is the amount I put in, I will not expect, I can only expect an equivalent result. Because that's the beauty of our sport. That's one of the things that I really like about it.
It's very honest.
Yes, it's very honest. So if you're not honest to yourself, you don't train, and then pangit yung result mo, tapos magrereklamo ka, then dun tayo may problema.
Do you think
Oo.
do you think it can be offensive to the guys that gives a lot of respect to the sport?
I think, in a way, yes. You have to respect the distance. First of all, it's not safe. It's not safe. It's also unfair to the organizers. I'm only thinking of the organizers. Kasi if may mangyari sa'yo, health-wise, I mean...
And you didn't prepare fully.
Because you didn't prepare. And then, madadamay rin yung organization, you know, but that is ultimately a shared responsibility.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? So, yun lang. Respect the race.
Respect the race. So, sige. Talk about next step, try. The coaching and of course, the team, no? So, I'm part of Next Step Try.
Yay!
I'm part of Next Step Try at matagal akong kolorum bago ako naging official, no? So, syempre, kasi just to give you a background, dito lang ako nakatira sa Laguna, si Coach Ani, dito lang din nakatira. So, kapag hindi ako nakakasama sa mga rides na madalas, of course, with Coach Andy. I was with Coach Andy Lotero before. Nag-i-indoor classes kami. Yung indoor training namin sa Maximus. Of course, pag weekends, kasama ko siya sa, punta kami ng Tagaytay. But pag hindi ako nakakasama, text ako kay Coach Ani, Coach, sama ako sa inyo, kasama natin sila Mamadors, Fitness First. So, naging Fitness First din ako for a time, no? Then, pero kolorum ako noon. Kasi hindi ako ma-officialize ni Coach Ani dahil kay Coach Andy ka eh. Magkaroon ng something, di ba? Buti nag-pandemic. Nag-pandemic. Si Coach Andy, finally, hindi na siya nag-coach nung time na yon. Tapos I wanted to break my 2018 Ironman time. I think, yung pagpili ng coach kasi, it's very, sa tingin ko, it's relative to where you are.
Yes.
And kung saan ka komportable na sistema. So to me, since nandito lang naman si Coach Ani, and of course, bonus na yun, nandyan si Coach Ani, 7 kilometers lang from our house, di ba? Tapos punta lang kami sa bahay niya. No? So may time na kasama ko pa sila Claire noon, di ba?
Yes,
Before pandemic.
Yeah.
Sila Enzo, sila Zeji. So, Coach, let's talk about Next Step Try. A brief background, how this team, this family started, and your coaching style.
All right. So when I started as a coach, I mean, like, it was a whole process. It still is. Ano naman ang first experience ko as a coach was like, I learned to swim coach as a summer job in high school. And then later on, I was handling a swim team, the kids swim team in Celebrity Sports Plaza. I was QC based.
Okay, QC.
And then later on, because nga I would get online programs from my Australian coach, yung mga fellow triathletes ko at that time knew I was following some kind of scientific program, which was a novelty at that time. So tinuturo-turuan ko sila. Ito kasi yung reason bakit ito yung bakit tayo nag-acceleration, bakit tayo ito yung tempo, ito yung ibig sabihin ng threshold, yung mga iba-ibang terms. So ina-explain ko. Tas after a while, like sabi ko, wait lang muna, masyado nang maraming And then when I felt like parang ang dami ko nang tinuturuan. And then Triathlon Association of the Philippines also brought up the idea, bakit di ka magpa-certify? Which I readily said, why not? And then, yun na. So progressively, at first, in the Triathlon Association of the Philippines, I was coaching the kids.
Okay.
And I was helping organize the Super Tri Kids.
Sino mga first batch of kids mo nito, coach?
Wala na kayong... Well, actually, I'm going to her wedding after this.
Ito,
Kasama
si
yung
Ella.
mga ano yan, third batch of kids na yan. Sila,
Hindi pa to sila,
Tapangilinans,
Hindi pa to
etc.
sila Claire.
Ay, matagal pa yun.
Matagal pa.
Actually, when I handled Claire, that was my first year as a high-performance coach of Triathlon Association
Yun yung HP
of the
na
Philippines.
tinatawag. So pag may nakita kayo sa group nyo na HP athletes, ito yung workout, age groupers, ito. Nung kami, nakita namin yan sa HP. Saan ba tayo? HP ba tayo? Doon tayo sa mababagal. Siyempre, gusto natin doon sa mabibilis. So, anyway, coach.
Oo, yun. And then yun na, like I mentioned also at the start of our conversation, nag-evolve din yung pagko-coach ko and the makeup of the squad. And then when I was assigned to be a high-performance coach, konti pa lang talaga sila. Ayun pa lang, sila Claire, sila Kim. Tapos ang boys ko nun, sila Rania, Benjamin, Philip Atento, Mark Hosana. Tapos later on, sila Jonard Saim.
Okay.
Tapos padagdag ng padagdag. And then nagkaroon na ako ng second tier, yung mga junior, sila Lauren. Yan ang mga nauna.
Sila Lauren Plaza.
Yeah. After nun, I guess word spread.
Yeah.
And then, lumaki. And, I'm very accommodating. Pero, I always am upfront with them. I always say, guys, ang priority ko is national team. I have my own reasons Kasi, coming from where I came from as a national athlete, may hugot din ako.
Yes.
Kaya ko to ginagawa, Rafi. And of course, I accept age groupers like you. You're all welcome. Pero, I'm very clear from the start, ito talaga yung, kung baga, yung ma-face-to-face ko on a daily basis, which I do, is yung HP na tinatawag. HP. But of course, yung mga group rides, pare-pareho lang naman na, well, halos. na zone 2.
Teka, yung pare-pareho na yun, I have to cut you with that, Coach Annie.
Disclaimer!
Yung pare-pareho na yan, sa first and second loop lang sa Nubali. Sa third and fourth, kanya-kanya na. Bahala na kayo kung makakapit kayo sa HP. Siyempre, yung mga bababa ang EQ, kakapit tayo sa HP. Na hindi na tayo makakatakbo pagkatapos. Pero masabi mo man lang, nakakapit ako kila Waki Banique, kila Enzo Solda, kila Fer Casares. Diba?
Oo. Ayun. And that's where we are, and I'm really happy with how it has evolved. We have really good athletes. I'm not just saying in terms of talent or ability. I mean, they're really good kids.
Yeah.
You can see the evolution rin, not just of my squad in particular, but the whole national team. I think nagle-level up in terms of attitude and work ethic.
Ay, nice.
Yeah.
Yun ang magandang kasi syempre some athletes kapag alam nila na, of course, when they know if they're strong, they won't adapt. But I don't see that in your squad. And of course, the other athletes now.
You always get a mix. But, as you know, hindi papalag sa akin yun kung patuloy mong gagawin yun.
Wala. Maghanap ka ng ibang coach.
Exactly.
Hanap ka ng ibang coach. Magaling ka na pala eh. Doon ka sa ibang coach.
Ayun.
Diba? So coach, so yung coaching, next step is a try team and your coaching, diba? So, what do you think is your, how do I say this? What sets you apart? Your coaching style from the other coaches. What sets you apart? And, diba? What is your approach to the athletes?
I don't really like to maybe compare my coaching to others, but because I see that there are so many good coaches already in the Philippines. Kung ability lang, I mean, marami up there.
Yeah.
I would only say that I would go back to my why. Maybe my why is really strong and I just stay with the kumbaga kung sa math problem.
Nako, teka lang.
Kumbaga sa math problem, mas matagal akong magse-stay dyan para lang ma-solve yan. Kumbaga, meron akong malalim na na reason or purpose why I coach. And of course, I equip myself with the methods, as you say, and all the tools. But, what I really attach myself to, apart from not just the process, I don't attach myself to just the process or the results. I really go back always to my reason for doing this, which is really to push our athletes to higher and higher levels, because I was not able to do that for myself because I feel like I didn't have the infrastructure or support during our time. And honestly, can I just go back to, I know you were asking me a question before na coming from being a full-time athlete to now an age group per schedule, so to speak. I was never really a full-time athlete. I had to support myself in the national team. During my time, we weren't really given any budget. We didn't really have SEA Games gold medals. If your federation doesn't have any of those yet, you're not given the equivalent financial support. So I was always working. I would do a high performance program with a job. So, yeah, but granted, I was single. So I had more time. But yung pro athlete talaga dapat is like just that, right? Those, so to speak.
So, Coach,
ngayon, the reason why I am doing what I'm doing is so that they can do that.
So, Coach, pag pro athlete, kailangan single? Ganun.
Nako, iba yatang topic
yan. Sorry. Yun lang yung
medyo tumataliwas tayo.
Yun yung nag-struck lang sa akin. Kasi alam mo, mga pro athletes natin ngayon. Yung ibang mga pro athletes dyan, parang na... Okay, Coach. So, speaking of, kanina nabanggit mo yung you wanted really to put the Philippines and of course the performance of the athletes to the higher level. So, before we go into the higher level, you are handling Iron Kids.
Yes.
You are the face of Iron Kids. Pag sinabing Iron Kids, lagi nandiyan si Coach Annie. And of course, we know that maybe someday, one of those kids will bring us to the Olympics.
One of the things I love about triathlon is the community. And you do so many things for our sport. You're just one of the people who does that. And there are so many others who do the same. I just feel like what I do for Iron Kids, maybe one of those kids will someday be an elite athlete who will be in the Olympics. Maybe, maybe not. But that's not the main reason why I do that. That can be a bonus. The main reason why I do that is because it's really good for the growth of the sport and just in general to promote fitness in our country. And it's a fun thing to do for me. It's a fun thing to do. But yeah, having said that, there are people who came from the Iron Kids race series who are now part of the national team. And nakakatuwa.
Of course, to name a few, you have, of course, sila
Josh Ramos, yes.
sila Dash, Arrow.
Yes.
Si Lauren.
Yes, Lauren.
Diba sila Hart.
Yes, oo. Marami.
Diba si Sam Corpus, nakita ko ngayon na nasa Portugal sila. Alam mo, may isang beses nagbabrowse ako ng mga ginawa kong highlights for for Ironman. May isa akong highlights for Iron Kids. Nakita ko doon sila Clifford, Pusing, sila Zedgy,
marami.
Sila Enzo. Tapos titignan ko, sinastop ko talaga, uy, si Sam to. Diba? That was 2017, 2018.
Exactly.
Diba? So, hindi natin alam. Yun nga, sabi ni Coach, maybe yun, isa doon sa mga kids na yan ang magdadala sa atin sa Olympics, no? Pero, well, right now, I think we have to focus on what's present. We have, of course, sila Fer, sila Kim Mangrobang, who has been doing everything.
Yes.
I've met Kim few years back and alam ko hindi yan titigil.
Super. And that's where I think her and I are really alike. If there's one word to describe that girl, she is relentless. And I feel like she is a kindred spirit in that sense because I will never stop either. So magkasama kami dito.
Yes. So, yun, that's the biggest goal, I suppose, but for the Philippine triathlon to be in the Olympics. Yun. Speaking of putting Philippine triathlon in the Olympics, 10 years from now, Coach, do you think we'll be there?
At the rate we are going, it's really a possibility. And that's the reason why we keep doing what we do. That is the ultimate goal. Really. We're working towards that. In my mind, it's just a matter of time, but I cannot predict exactly how long. But yes, I will, my fellow coaches and I think triathlon federation president know, they all know that I won't stop until we have at least one athlete there.
Going back, Coach, to this year's SEA Games, no? We all know that we used to dominate SEA Games. Pag SEA Games, sure, gold yan lahat. And not to compare it to the other countries, mas angat talaga tayo sa Southeast Asia.
Yes,
still, diba? But, ikaw, this year, kinabahan ka ba?
I'm always kabado. Pero yes, this year, there were many new factors. They brought in, I guess in a way, were trying to break the code. Kasi palagi na lang ang very dominant, and one of the things that they did, they moved down the distance to sprint. It was always standard, and they added aquathlon events because tinanggal nila marami kasi lang swimmers yung mga ibang countries who could just run and maybe not bike. So yun yung mga bago. And then, as you know, we have, I guess, more maturity in terms of our athletes. So, pagka standard, lumalabas yung stamina natin. Kaso ito, they were able to inject, yes, because it was a sprint distance, they were able to inject a lot of younger guys who maybe do not have the endurance, but they can definitely push until 5K for the run, for example. So yes, maraming unknown factors, and we had to adjust. The coaching staff had to tweak the program. Sabi ko, sige, the challenge accepted. So yeah, we also planned that okay, maybe we won't win gold in all the events, but we will still win the most. So we always try our best. But it's also good that maybe nagising na rin yung ibang countries.
Yung mga neighboring countries natin.
Yeah.
Pero coach, tingin ko hindi ka naman kinabahan dito sa SEA Games. Nanakit ka lang ng ibang...
Nako.
Diba? So papakita natin dito sa video
my
na to,
gosh.
yung si coach, nag-cheer, akala niya Pilipino yung pinapalo niya, ibang country na pala. Ano ba yun? Taga-Thailand ba yun?
Indonesia.
Indonesian, pinapalo ni coach. Ay, sorry. Go, kid!
Kasalanan niya. Kasalanan niya. Nakahilera kami doon. Lahat Pilipino yung katabi doon sa sidewalk part na yon. Kaso hindi ko alam bakit siya sa akin tumabi. Sumingit siya sa buong pila. Tapos ako pa yung pinili niyang tabihan.
Tapos, di ba? Chine-cheer si Kim nun kasi may nag-penalty, di ba?
Yes.
Ka-penalty si Kim Mangrobang. Tapos si coach may may pinalo dito na isa. Pakita natin sa video na yun.
May backstory kasi yun, ha? Pwede ba mag-disclaimer?
Okay,
Baka
sige.
naman yung tingin sa akin.
Sige, coach.
Ganito kasi yun. The previous day, si Raven Alcoseba was also given a 10-second penalty. And we didn't do a countdown. But we were just looking at our watches.
Yeah.
We didn't do a countdown out loud. But we were in front of the penalty tent and lumampas ng 10 seconds, mga 13.
So kaya you were counting out loud.
Sabi ko, I mean, and
3 seconds,
we feel like she lost the bronze because of that.
Oh.
Because look at the splits. But anyway, that is why the day after,
louder! Gumanon si coach, louder! 10!
Exactly.
Ah,
when we
ganun.
found out that Kim had to do a 10-second penalty, check-in as well, we were like, there is no way they're
mawala
gonna
yun kay
do
Kim.
overtime for this. So I gave everyone beside me the instructions, mag-countdown kayo. Anyway, yun.
Sana mahanap ko dito.
Sorry.
Pero ganda talaga nun para sa akin. Hindi ko alam kung isa-share ko to kasi natatawa ako pero sinare ko nila. Anyway, hanapin natin yun. So, Coach, talking about Southeast Asia, we are dominating Southeast Asia. Going to Asian level. Well, truth be told, medyo hirap pa tayo.
Hirap tayo.
You have Japan, Kenji Nenner is there, di ba?
Yes.
So, yung mga stands, yung mga, ano ba yung mga...
Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan,
nandyan,
Kyrgyzstan.
diba? Mga Russian kasi yun eh.
Ay.
Bakit biglang nasa Asia, di ba? So,
I know.
we are not yet there.
We're not. We're in the top 10. We're not like, we it's a decent standing, but it's not really like we're not in the mix.
Pero coach, di ba, that term, decent standing, only us can understand.
Yes.
Di ba? So, of course, to the non-triathlon people, or maybe to the new ones, when you say you are in the top 10, that's okay where we are right now. But of course, the winners to them, the perfect scenario is always 1, 2, 3.
Podium, yes. Yeah. And the same for me. I always want to elevate our standards higher. I know it's easy to say, kasi mga puti naman yung kalaban namin paano naman kami mananalo? So I want to remove that narrative also. I'm guilty of saying that myself, but you know what? I think it's time to stop that kasi I think sa panahon ngayon, everyone is more or less equipped with the same technology. Maybe the environment, we need to work on it. Like the working environment of our athletes and the monetary support. Yun yung mga things that we need to work on. But in terms of technology, we're getting there. We shouldn't really have too many excuses. So that's why I'm trying to eliminate that kind of thinking. Yeah.
Speaking of technology, Coach, sinabi mo na you mentioned that we are getting there, no? But we are seeing the other countries that they are more advanced. But what are your thoughts on not thoughts really, where do you think are we in terms of technology with the understanding of power meters, lactate testing of VO2 max, and of course yung pinakabago nating kakarating lang yung Super Sapiens, no? So I've seen Kim and Fer tried Super Sapiens.
Yes.
And the other athletes, of course, they're using power meters. Your thoughts on that, and how do we think, on what level are we now in terms of understanding those technologies?
Honestly, speaking of Kim and Fer, they're very adept at using those tools. Those two both have power meters. They give very good feedback to me. I cannot force all of my athletes to purchase things, because of the financial constraints of some. But it really helps me because I'm just speaking on behalf of Kim and Fer. They have proper bike fitting regularly. We do some testing. Case-to-case basis, different kinds of tests. Kasi some are based on physiology, di ba?
Correct.
And some are like more subjective. But yeah, I think it would really help me if the whole team would have all this equipment. For now, only a handful are able to give me all those data when I look at the training peaks.
So they are nice to have right now.
Those are vehicles because they help us to get
from point A to point B.
So we use whatever we can depending on sometimes we use tempo trainers because right now for example, for really needs help with his swim, and I've just really implemented that, your turnover is really low, we need to work on it. And now he's always wearing the tempo trainer in his swim cap and stuff like that. So, I mean, yung power meter, matagal na namin ginagamit yun. So, yeah, stuff like that. Whatever we need to work on, we focus on that. And then they have access to some testing in the Sante Fitness Lab. Yeah. They regularly monitor at least twice a month yung mga stats nila.
Yeah, nice.
So yun.
So we are getting there.
We're getting there, but not everyone is maximizing it. So I think if everyone were doing that, everyone would improve also, because they can see, they can gauge better.
And of course, numbers don't lie.
Yes.
Numbers. So right now we are very data driven, if I may say.
Yes.
Yeah, because kahit sabihin mo you feel good, but your numbers doesn't reflect to it, then there's something not really wrong, but there's something na, di ba? So
yes and no.
Okay.
Meron kasing psychology aspect that really affects performance. So yes, 100% the numbers don't lie. But there's also other factors that, you have to consider. May mga pinagdadaanan yung mga tao.
Kailangan natin ng part 2 sa mga ganito. Emotional.
I mean,
diba?
Rafi, honestly, that's the bulk of my coaching. It's not the training program itself. It's not that. It's really like managing people.
Kasi noong 2021, 2022, nanay, I don't feel like training today. Mga gano'n, may mga message o gano'n kay nanay before IMPH. Isa lang ako doon. Diba, isipin mo, daming anak nito.
Oo.
Diba, naalala ko before mag-IMPH, one training camp namin, ang sagwa ng mga pinapakita ko noon. Hindi ko ma-hit yung numbers ko. Ang sama talaga sa malapit na yung IMPH. Sabi ko na nabawi ako. Pero, tas, alam mo yun, it really affects you more than physical,
Kasi, I think, for an athlete to perform really well, everything has to be well.
Mm-hmm.
Physical is only one aspect Yung mental and emotional conditioning, I constantly have to work on that with them. In fact, I consult with some psychologists to help the squad. Because it's not really my core competence, but I've had to do it on a daily basis. Really. Just to be real.
Yeah, just to be real. Okay.
Ayun lang. So yeah, it's data-driven, but you have to understand real coaching in real life, may ganun May ganun.
Real life coaching. Diba? So,
yes.
Nice. Okay, so last question ko na to. Just for the sake of our viewers, because we have newbies, mga manonood dyan at makikinig kung nasan man kayo, nasa traffic kayo ngayon or nasa bahay kayo. Quick Coach, quick glance on how yung normal age groupers training program versus your high performance Kim and Fer. Paano mo mako-compare, like sa isang araw, breakdown mo lang kung paano yung training nila versus my training. Dalawa lang.
Well, gusto mo pakita yung training pics mo or yung joke lang.
Huwag ngayon kasi medyo
yung pinaplan ko o yung actual executed.
Ngayon kasi may sarili akong training pics. May sarili akong agenda ko anong oras ako magising. Yun lang yung gagawin ko.
No.
Okay, let's start with babawi ako, coach, pag season na.
I know.
Let's start with the daily training program of your top athletes, Kim and Fer.
First of all, there's always a swim.
Mm-hmm.
For you guys, maybe 3 to minimum 3. Depending on a week, diba?
Yes.
And then, maximum na siguro yung 5. Marami na yun, diba? Very na yun.
Naku,
positive thinking na yun, diba?
Swimmist ka na nun.
Masyadong optimistic na yung paglagay ko doon pag 5.
Oh my God, 5. Okay.
So, diba, yun kasi yung pero sa kanila, we cannot afford not to swim really daily basis. And sometimes, there are twice daily swim sessions. So, that's number 1. Number 2, yung intensity is different.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the age group athletes who come to me are training for longer distances. So, definitely, walang masyadong zone 5 dyan. So, may konti, pasundot-sundot
wala
lamang.
Ba?
Seconds lang.
Ba't parang yung zone 5 yung mga nagagawa ko?
Na tumitingin ka ba sa power meter mo?
Yan. So, kaya importante
Akala ko ba?
power meter, heart rate monitor, para tsaka sa tingin ko, coach, maganda. Kung meron bang EQ meter.
Yun yung sinasabi ko na isang hindi natin na-measure ng tama sa ngayon.
EQ, di ba? Minsan mataas, minsan mababa.
Exactly.
Di ba? Ayun. So, okay, so swim.
Intensity. And volume. Volume of swim is very high. And maybe the bike volume is not as high. And maybe the long run's not as long. So really depending, even more pagka-sprint yung next race or Olympic yung next race. Swim talaga. Oo. Yun. That's what I can say in general.
Kasi sa swim, pag naiwan ka dun, may hirapan na sila.
Oo They can lose the race.
Sa swim pa lang.
Yes.
Kasi kailangan nila kumapit dun sa pack ng bike.
Yeah.
Tapos more sa pagdating sa run. If they can stick up to a pack, fresher.
Yes.
In a way sa run, di ba?
And it's really brutal when you go higher. Kasi syempre you see them here, maybe NAGT, maybe Subit. The field is strong but not really like when we go out there and we try to join some World Cup races, the reality is they do get lapped sometimes if they don't swim fast enough. They can't even finish the race. So it really breaks my heart when that happens. And it's really humbling because we work so hard, you know.
Yeah.
I don't need to keep mentioning that.
Yes.
But it really is heartbreaking. Sometimes you need to detach yourself so you don't get too depressed. Really, so you can keep going.
Yeah.
So you can keep going, but you have to kind of give them a grieving period because it's so hard for them to take. Siyempre, may ego din yung mga yan. Hindi
Of
naman
course.
mananalo yung mga yan kung walang ego yung mga yan eh. And for that to happen to them, it's really, you know, heartbreaking. And I feel the same way, maybe not as much, maybe, you know, to a degree kasi I'm with them every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our struggle at the moment. We really have to, in general, for the whole national team, up the swim game.
Up the swim game. So for age groupers naman, usually, well, it's very, it depends on the distance and the goal.
Yes.
Diba? And the
Yes.
time that you can commit. Kasi
Yun.
Kasi yun naman yung namin ni coach how much time can you commit in a
Yes.
week? Tapos, ano ba yung work mo? Kaya mo ba yung ganito? So for age groupers, it's very custom.
Kung single ka ba?
Yun, diba?
Kung semi-pro ka ba?
Oh.
May
Tsaka,
mga age
correct.
grouper ako, semi-pro.
Semi-pro.
Oo.
Pangalanan na natin yan. Luigi Robles, mga ganyan,
Yun
di ba?
nga.
Kayang tumalo ng
may
mga...
EA pa pagka
Oo.
magre-register sa mga
Ay,
race.
syempre.
Diba?
Eh,
So,
may EA
hindi
yan.
pantay-pantay yung mga age grouper
Diba?
ko eh.
Oo.
Yun.
So, pag age groupers, iba-iba yan. So, Coach Annie, yung sinabi ni Coach Annie is really for the high-performing
Yes, oo.
athletes. Diba? So, yun. I think we're done and we will go to our last topic of the show. Let's go to Fast Talk. Okay, itong mga questions sa mga tatanong ko, hindi to alam ni Coach Annie. As in,
Scared ako ah.
etong lahat na to, binigay namin to sa kanya to review and all. Teka lang. So, Fast Talk. I'm gonna ask you, hindi man to, just a set of questions. Pipili ka lang dun sa choices na bibigay ko. Okay.
Oo nga eh.
Really?
Ikaw talaga?
Okay. So, first, ano na to?
Sa viewers pa naman natin, Coach, baka...
Coach, hindi pwede mag-isip ng matagal, As in, fast nga eh. Di ba?
Okay, wala, guys.
Ano to?
Walang personalan na lang kung ano na lang unang maano
Zone 5 talk. Yan, Zone 5 talk. Coach, hindi to as you feel. Hindi pwede yung mga as you feel dito, Ito, onting questions lang to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 lang.
Kunti ba yun?
8 lang, mabilis lang. Okay, Coach, pili ka. 5, 4, 3, 2. Uphill, downhill.
Uphill.
Sing or dance.
Sing.
Frozen yogurt or ice cream.
Frozen yogurt.
Vacation or staycation.
Vacation.
Indoor, outdoor.
Outdoor.
Coffee or tea.
Coffee.
Pool or open water.
Open water.
Endurance or speed.
Speed endurance.
Okay. Galing naman ang speed endurance. Okay. And that's it for our episode today. We'd like to thank Coach Annie De Leon Brown. Maraming salamat for gracing this first episode na medyo napahaba tayo pero yun ang maganda dito. Mahaba ang kwentuhan. And that's it. I'm gonna say goodbye. My name is Rafi, the newest Sam YG. And here we have Coach Annie De Leon Brown. And we out.